reflections of, man,
Okay.
the great Mary Wilson, member of the Supremes, founding member of the Supremes, the longest member of the Supremes. She was in the group the entire time. Stop in the Name of Love, Baby Love, Where Did Our Love Go? Come See About Me, You Keep Me Hanging On, You Can't Hurry Love.
Yeah.
Just so many songs you could keep. The list goes on and on. I hear a symphony.
Yes.
Someday We'll Be Together. The Supremes were that group. They were those girls.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Every girl wanted to be one of them. Who didn't want to be a Supreme? We still to this day are wearing costumes to just represent and reenact what we saw these women doing. And this time, like, I think that, you know, you have Mary Wilson and Diana Ross and you know, these women really taught us and showed us how to be women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, how to take pride in ourselves, how to be dainty but still command your attention and your audience
respect,
and your respect. And, you know, much respect to Mary Wilson and all of the women that kind of came in that generation, because I just feel like they taught us so much.
Yeah, and the Supremes laid the blueprint for what it was to be a girl group. I don't know any girl group that has come after that has not followed that mode. And when you think of girl group, that classic kind of three-girl lineup thing, that's what you think of. That's the Supremes.
That's the Supreme.
They invented that kind of thing. I don't know if they really invented it. They probably weren't the first, but they definitely excelled at it to a degree. Nobody, until this day, 12 number one hits on the Billboard. No other girl group has that.
They've done it.
3 number one albums, best-selling girl group of all time.
Yep.
Still, in 2021.
Yep.
So that tells you how they were. And I think people kind of take it for granted now, but in the 60s, you know, you only had like 3 networks on television. And you did not see a lot of black people on those screens. The Supremes were able to get onto the television screens like every week. They broke through into white households, and that changed the way that people viewed African Americans. And that changed the way they viewed themselves, because you could look at these little girls from Detroit, from the projects. From the projects, and now they're on with Ed Sullivan.
Yeah.
And they're on, you know, they're on their TV shows, and they're coming off the plane with their fur coats, and they're like, that was inspirational to a whole generation of black people.
London and traveling all over the world.
Japan, everywhere. They're singing at the Copa, and you know, Berry Gordy really worked hard to kind of help them present this image. They even went to finishing school. They went to take etiquette classes to learn how to speak and how to stand. And you don't see that kind of thing anymore. Like, you don't see that kind of training put into it anymore. And that's what Mary and the girls did. They were taught how to be stars, taught how to be celebrities. And then the music.
Yes.
And I've always said this, more than anything else, music lives forever. And we're still singing songs from hundreds of years ago.
Yep.
The Supremes have some clones that will be forever classic. And so I gotta bump Mary high on this list, because you will be singing Stop in the Name of Love and Baby Love long after we're gone.
Yep.
That music will play, people will sample it, it will still be there. That's Mary's legacy.
Yes.
And even after Diana Ross left the group, she stayed.
Yep.
She stayed with the group. She tried to keep it together. During the 70s, they made some hits. She was the kind of protector of the legacy. In fact, right before she died, she was doing a whole tour of Supreme gowns. She was going around with the gowns, because she had collected the gowns and was showing them off. And she had done a magazine on the 50th anniversary talking about the Supremes. And she did everything she could to keep that legacy together. She accepted their award at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She accepted the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Mary was the Supremes legacy. And, you know, that was so important to her. And then what a lot of people may not know, too, she actually helped pass legislation. She got a bill passed in 1992 that allowed for original artists to have to still be in a group if you're going to use that group's name. And that's because there were so many groups going around impersonating other folks. And so Mary was determined, and no, listen, original group members need to protect their trademarks. And she did that with the Supremes. So she was a businesswoman. She affected legislation that has affected folks. Mary was, you know, she was a great woman. And, you know, Diana gets the bulk of the attention.
Right.
Well deserved. We love Diana Ross. But you can't understate Mary's role in that and in what she did to keep the Supremes together and bring it. For example, a lot of people don't know, Mary was in the group before Diana.
Oh, see that?
Mary was in the group before Diana. She actually recruited Diana to come and join the Supremes. And they, their relationship got tense. Mary wrote a best-selling book, Dreamgirls,
Yep.
which was all about
Little
her
Supreme
relationship with
drama.
Diana Ross. Yeah, it's a huge seller. But Mary and those songs, Reflections, so many great songs will forever be played. They will be the soundtrack of our lives. And you can't talk about the soundtrack of the entire 60s without mentioning the Supremes. So
can't.
without mentioning Mary Wilson. She's
Yeah.
just a legend, just a legend.
She's a part of it all.
I love it. We love you, Mary.
Love you, girl.